Dan is the North Carolina Lieutenant Governor. And I think you've got a very interesting plan here, sir, because we're all talking about the shutdown of schools, closure of schools. Kansas, as you may know, has shut the schools for the rest of the school year. But you've got something called a digital learning plan in North Carolina. Could you just, real fast, tell us what it is, please?
Yes, Stuart, we've been working on this for years for situations just like this to make sure that all of our students across the state are prepared for the digital economy. And it just so happens that that had to do with connectivity to the schools and the classrooms, as well as training for teachers, as well as the content curriculum. So we are set up really good in North Carolina right now for the education challenge that we're facing. And from an education standpoint, we will weather this pretty well.
Have you shut the schools in North Carolina?
The schools are shut down right now, Stuart, and that was obviously a difficult decision. But again, I think, we'll learn a lot from this, obviously, but our position is really good, and the students are moving along with their lessons plans. Seniors are going to be able to graduate, and that's a good thing. I think the bigger challenge now for us, just like everybody else, is the economy, the people that are losing their jobs, at the low-wage workers. Thousands and thousands of people in North Carolina are losing their jobs right now, and what the unintended consequences of some of these economic levers being pulled are going to mean for a state like North Carolina that's been on an economic roll.
They've closed the restaurants, I believe, in North Carolina, and you don't like it. You don't think that's a good move.
Well, I don't think it's a good move across the board, Stuart. We have 100 counties in North Carolina, and the virus is in 16 of those. So we have 84 counties that don't have the virus right now, and we're kind of using a blanket policy. I really like what Gavin Newsom's doing in California, where he is more of a bottom-up approach and saying, let's tackle it where the real problems are. But we have counties that have no viruses at all and no cases of virus, and we should allow those economies to still flourish. It's one thing to say go to dine-in only in places where you need to do that, and I agree with that, or I mean to carry out only, but there are places that this will devastate actually the economy, because a lot of these small restaurants in small towns are going to have to shut down because they're not set up to do carry out only.
Well, you know, there is a real push to make it a nationwide crackdown. Shutdown, I should say. We've got Dan Ackman just asking for that on a national basis. And, you know, it is rolling along, isn't it? There's more and more restrictions in more and more states, and it seems like it's almost unstoppable at this point.
It does seem that way, Stuart. I hope not. I believe, like you do, in innovation over regulation, and I really want the good people of North Carolina, the innovators of the world, to step up and help solve this problem so we don't have to pull all of the levers to one side of the equation and shut the entire economy down. I think that there's the human factor on the coronavirus side, but there's the human factor on low-wage workers losing their jobs and wondering if they can pay rent and pay for their car payment and buy food. This is very real to a lot of people on the ground right now all over the world, but even right here in North Carolina.
Yes, sir. It's a real thing. It has arrived. It's now. It's imminent, and it's vicious in many respects. Dan Forest, Lieutenant Governor, North Carolina, thank you very much for joining us, sir. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Stuart.